So this took a pretty long time to make. Turns out talking about your favorite mission is pretty easy. Talking about your least favorite isn't. Thankfully, we haven't gotten there yet. Hello everyone, this is Simply5, and welcome to another Halo 3 video. This time, we're talking about Crow's Nest. Second mission of the game, second worst in the lineup. Honestly, that's a bit harsh, but after writing a script for this video 3 times over nearly 4 years, I think I never want to think about it again. That being said, it's not that bad of a mission. Level design is solid, encounters are unique and fun, and there's a few memorable set pieces and events, but when I was younger, this was always the mission I played just so I could get to the next one. This mission opens with you landing inside a secret mountain base. As a kid, I always thought it was Mount Kilimanjaro, but apparently it's just in some other random mountains that definitely aren't this tall in real life. Also, unlike real life, this base was supposedly built for some 20th century war, meaning that canonically, this base exists in our present day. Neat. Quick aside, this opening scene always reminded me of that one landing scene in A New Hope. As a Star Wars kid, it always stuck out to me, and it's my video, so I'll talk about what I want. This cutscene is one of the weaker ones in the game because it really shows off how bad the facial animation is, at least by modern standards. Also this.
Ma'am, squad leaders are requesting a rally point. Where should they go?
To war.
Kinda neat how this level parallels the Pillar of Autumn's control room, with your random technicians and computer dorks doing their thing. Anyway, the first skull is up on this pipe. Next, you'll walk through the base getting to see some of the environments that you'll backtrack and fight your way through later in the mission. And this is a really good case of where the atmosphere in the level goes a long way and makes you feel the weight of the situation you're in. As if the metaphorical storm from Sierra 117 is finally catching up to you, and it's time to get your ass in gear. Eventually you'll come to this door where you need to open, and immediately you're thrown into battle. A warthog full of Marines gets obliterated by some plasma grenades, and it's up to you to finish off the enemies in the hall. After this, if you walk all the way down the hallway, you'll reach the only real Easter egg other than the skulls in this mission.
Password! They gave it out at the staff meeting 15 minutes ago.
Meeting? What meeting? I was out here!
Not supposed to let anyone in without it.
If the staff meeting just ended, no one outside is gonna know the freaking password. Now open up! We need ammo and the chief is out here.
Does he know the password?
He wasn't at the meeting either!
Moving on, these turbines always reminded me of Battlefront 2. As you push up into the hangar, you get one of the larger encounters in the mission, with waves of phantoms dropping off reinforcements. Blink and you'll miss this somewhat underwhelming sky battle going on outside. After you repel the Covenant from the hangar, the Marines pile into the Pelican and head out. You may come out of the last mission feeling good about yourself, so the game makes sure to put you in your place. A pipe bursts open and a swarm of buggers pour out. If you're not quick, they'll start picking off the Marines. Friendly reminder that you can fire non-plasma weapons through a deployable cover from the defending side. I always remember this fight being harder than it actually is. It never ends up being a problem, but the atmosphere built up around it makes it seem bigger than it actually is. After you mop up the stragglers, you return to the command room to find a bomb getting primed to go off. You then walk 5 feet and find a huge pack of brutes that, for some reason, are just chilling out right next to their enemy's central command. Good job, guys. I always found this encounter to be one of the harder ones in the mission, but as long as you keep your distance from the pack of brutes, you're generally gonna have an easy time. After you wrap that up, you get this annoying tunnel sequence, but be careful, if you're too fast, you'll miss the little drop onto a ledge, and under the tunnel, you'll find your second skull. In case you wanted to end the game as soon as possible, a popular speedrunning tactic is right after you jump out of this hole, make sure you have a gravity hammer from the previous encounter, line up the screed as such, and enjoy the flight. If you can't get the jump, like me, you'll have to go through the barracks. Another good example of atmosphere in this level where you feel an immediate sense of urgency to save as many Marines as possible. I remember spending tons of time just reloading checkpoints trying to save every Marine. The cool aside that not many people notice is if you want to try to flank the enemy, there are all these cool tunnels up in the rafters you can use to sneak around and drop behind enemies. In fact, this section is really cool in general since you have effectively 3 avenues of attack to take advantage of. The more Marines you saved in the barracks, the more support you'll have in the next encounter. At the top of this platform is the landing pad from the first cutscene. Fight off some jetpack brutes, and a Pelican drops in to pick up Johnson and the Marines, leaving you to detonate the bomb. Move on too quick though, and you'll miss some special equipment hidden up in this lookout tower. It can come in handy for the final boss. The last major encounter brings you back to the control room. Here you'll have to fight a ton of brutes, but the equipment you've gathered throughout the mission, combined with some strategy, will take you a long way. The final run to the elevator is probably the most fun part of the mission. Enemies, terrified of their impending doom, don't really care too much about you as you sprint by them. It's hard not to just keep trying to speedrun this part of the mission because the atmosphere directs you so well. It really can't be understated how well this level controls atmosphere and influences the player in not exactly subtle but also not intrusive ways. When I was going through this level, I was trying to figure out why it didn't vibe with me as well as Sierra 117. And at first I thought it was just that it didn't do a good job with atmosphere. That's definitely not right. They did a good job from the uncertain feeling you get as the screen shakes to the moments where you feel like you and the UNSC are on the back foot. I think it's just that the atmosphere isn't something I particularly enjoyed against the backdrops of the epic large-scale battles that take place later on in the game. Halo 3 has a really grandiose vibe for most of the game, and this level doesn't really capture that same scale that most of the other missions do. It has its place for sure, but I'm personally really excited to move on to the next mission.